You're about to learn a somewhat unethical way to keep your woman attracted to you. And yes, believe it or not, making your relationship last requires you to break some rules. Let me explain. Right now, answer this question as honestly as you can. Do you love your woman more than she loves you? If your answer is yes, then that's bad news. Why? It's all because she's already won you over. She doesn't need to do much more to keep you. And that means she'll take you for granted. Soon, she'll start nitpicking, bossing you around, stubbing her nose at your authority. And spoiler alert, if you love her more than she loves you, she's more likely to leave you down the line. It's true. Now, that said, it's not her fault. It's only human nature, right? We take the things we got for granted. I mean, try to remember the time you worked really hard to get something you wanted. Maybe it was a college degree, or a car, or a house, or a business deal. When you got it, you must have felt excited out of your mind. And yet, what happened after a few weeks? You got bored, right? You wondered, is this all there is? Well, guess what? That's also what happens in your woman's mind when she feels she's already won in the game of love. And that's a dangerous situation to be in. So let's plug that leak in your relationship today, shall we? Now, here's the big question. Why do guys like you and me make this mistake by default? Why do we love our women more than they love us? Here's the answer. Because it's the ethical way, or so society says. As upright men, they expect us to act with equality and honesty in mind. If we don't, we're sexist or misogynist. Don't you fall into that trap. Let's revisit history. Once upon a time, before all this politically correct crap, the divorce rate was 10%. After all this equality and ethical bullshit kicked in, over 50% of marriages failed. That's an increase of 5x. That's the price you pay for being, as they say, ethical. Are you now seeing the danger we men are at this point in history? If you do, take a moment to type a slightly unethical hell yeah in the comments below. Go ahead, do it now. I'll wait. Done? Hell yeah. Now let's talk about exactly why being straight-laced makes women take you for granted. What you're about to hear comes from the labs of Shogun Method. And if you've heard of Shogun Method, then you know what it's all about. Shoguns lead strong, happy relationships because of one thing, and that is their total and complete mastery of the female mind. And this strange link between being straight-laced and being a failure in relationships? Here's what Shogun Method found. It's all about how the female brain is wired. Mother Nature has wired the healthy woman to feel attracted to alpha male type men. In other words, the strongest, most attractive, and most successful men out there. Here's the problem. In a straight-laced relationship, where you treat her as your equal, she'll end up not seeing you as the alpha male type. And so she'll get angry. She'll feel like you scammed her. She'll think, I didn't sign up for this. And so she'll instinctively start looking for a better man to replace you with. Crazy, huh? And that's exactly how Mother Nature meant the ladies to be. Unfortunately, we live with social norms that go against our natural tendencies. You'd follow all the rules, but you'll still lose the game in the end. And that, my friend, is why it's so dangerous to love your woman more than you love her. It's sad, but it is what it is. Now that we know the truth, it's up to us to save the fellas from this ethical trap that's so deadly and heartbreaking. If you agree with me, then do this for me real quick. Click the like button so that this guide reaches more guys like you and me. The more men we unplug from the matrix, the more happy, healthy relationships we'll have in the world, right? I want to make that happen, and you're welcome to join the fight. Click the like button now. We'll continue the guide after you do. Have you clicked like yet? Great, let's continue. So, how exactly do we keep our ladies from falling out of love with us? By breaking free from convention. That's how. It's time to break some rules. The first thing to do is use a Shogun Method technique called scare tactics. And as the name implies, it's meant to infuse a bit of healthy fear into your woman. You'll make her feel like she hasn't won you yet. She still might lose you, and the value she gets from you if she continues to take you for granted. And so, with this healthy fear, you right the ship. She'll be more appreciative, respectful, and supportive. Controversial? You bet. It makes your relationship unequal, unpredictable, and, you guessed it, slightly unethical. And yet, it's precisely what will make your woman happier, more satisfied, and more in love with you than she's ever been. Now, if you're hesitating a bit, that's okay. That's normal. It's the social programming that's been hammered into you talking. Still, keep your eyes on the goal. We're not here to be ethical. We're here to build strong and happy relationships with our women, no matter what. Besides, anything's better than a 50% chance of success, right? Before I tell you how the scare tactics technique works, let me invite you to join the club. Hit the subscribe button and click the bell. That way, we can change the world, one guy at a time. After all, if we won't, who will? So, come on, click subscribe now. We'll wrap up the guide after you do. Subscribe and join the Brotherhood. Alright, welcome aboard. So here's how the scare tactics technique works. First, start getting into a manly hobby or two. Get into pastimes that make you look and feel more masculine. That means traditional hobbies like bodybuilding, blacksmithing, woodworking, and DIY. What does this do? It makes you more attractive, not just to your woman, but to other women as well. And you know what? She'll notice it. And that's why it's scary for her. She'll start feeling more possessive, and so she takes one step away from taking you for granted. As other women notice you more, your woman will go into the mate guarding mode. After all, there's nothing sexier than a man on a mission, and that will keep her on her toes. Pretty simple, right? Here's another one. Make her your number 2 priority. That's right, something else needs to be your top priority in life. Ideally, it's a cause you'd happily die for. Maybe it's the advancement of the arts, or feeding the hungry somewhere in the world, or building $1 million company. Here's what I want to ask you. What's the one thing you'll spend the rest of your life doing? What would you happily leave your woman for if she made you choose between it and her? Well, guess what? Make that your number 1 priority. And when you do, your number 2 priority, your woman, will notice. And it'll hit her like a thunderbolt. If she wants to stay around you, she must treat you like a king. And so she'll avoid doing those little things that you hate. You know, shit like nitpicking, nagging, and controlling you. See how it works? Now, there are other ways to use the scare tactics technique. I mean, you can disappear for a few days, or flirt with other women, or pretend to break up with her when she gets testy. And yet those are for the worst cases only. For now, starting a manly hobby and making her your number 2 priority should do just fine. There you have it, a somewhat unethical way to keep your woman attracted to you. It's unethical by conventional standards, of course. I have no problem with it at all. I mean, who cares what others think, right? So try it out. You'll notice she'll be more attracted, more respectful, and strangely, more addicted to you. And as Derek Rake has said, love is about emotional addiction, not attraction. A woman will stick with you if she is emotionally addicted to you. Now, you might wonder, how to make my woman emotionally addicted to me? To answer this question, we've got to throw every conventional rule out the window. Because emotional addiction is about manipulation. Some guys are uncomfortable with the thought of manipulating the emotions of others. Shoguns have no problem with this. I don't either. It's up to you to use this technique, but think of it this way. Imagine talking to your woman like you would any day. And yet, over time, you'll notice her getting more and more in love with you. It's like back when you were still dating. Everything was fun and exciting and heartwarming. Like she was falling in love with you all over again. Well, guess what? That's exactly what this one technique does. It's manipulative, it's addictive, and it works. What's this technique? It's called fractionation. Now, here's the thing. Most people say that fractionation and Shogun method is dark and immoral, and I agree. It's scary, especially to cowards and the closed-minded. But I know if you're a bit like me, you're open about trying new things, knowing it will make you a better man, a better boyfriend or husband. Fractionation is not for everyone, sure. But you're not everyone, right? So what happens next is that you're going to learn how to fractionate your woman, and here's what to do. At the end of this guide, you'll see a link. That link will take you to an online masterclass by Derek Rake. I mean, who else to learn fractionation from by the Shogun Method master himself, right? There, you'll learn all about fractionation, how it works, and how to use it. And yes, it'll help you stay in control of your relationship, just like your woman wants you to be. So go ahead, build a strong, happy, lifelong relationship that defies social norms. Click the link and join the online masterclass on fractionation now. If you don't see the link in the video, look for it in the video description area. Do it.